Now,
Welcome to the
Are we live?
Welcome to the darkness.
We're live.
Wow.
We made it.
Yay!
Yeah.
We have survived the
Greetings.
turkey farts.
Yeah, it was cool. You guys having a good Thanksgiving?
It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we did.
It was
We
good.
did.
It was
We were
nice that I
both-
didn't have to cook and
Oh,
I could just go and drink beer and eat and come home.
nice.
You know?
It was the aftermath.
Yeah. It was nice. Yeah. So I was just going to buy a pizza and be at home. And then my friends were like, no, you got to come out. You got to come over. So it was nice. So tonight,
Very
I think we have a really, really cool show because this is all on like burial rituals from all over. Yeah. And so I found a lot of photos to be able to show. Some of
nice.
the ones for Jesse's topic we can't show. We'll get kicked off YouTube. But I did find one really cool one we could show, Jess. So who wants to go first?
You know,
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
it was,
It doesn't matter. Oh, I thought it was like this.
and then anyway,
I'm sorry.
we had talked about this, and we talk about a lot of macabre things on this show and on this channel in general, and we talk about, you know, the aftermath, right? Or the prior to, but there's a lot of interesting things that we come across, and one of the things that I always thought was interesting was death rituals. And you know, there's been a lot of different cultures, and I was doing some research, and I kind of stayed on the Native American death rituals. They're all about giving back or putting back into the earth, and it's very interesting the way that they've done their a lot of their rituals. I know Mud Lover ran into some stuff, and I'll let her talk about that. But the one thing that I've always thought was interesting was that the way that some of these ceremonies intertwine with Christianity, you know, other, like I said, other cultures. So it's very spiritual, common themes and practices of especially with Native Americans, is they use the guiding spirit to the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
They involve practices like wakes, right, where we see where they would keep the body out for a while, and depending on which tribe they were, they would either keep them out for a really short time, or they'd keep them out for up to a week. And there's some folks or some cultures that actually dig their family members back up after, you know, annually. And
Does Mexico do that for Dias?
Dia de Muertos, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. In the Filipino culture, they do that. They embalm their folks, and they keep them out for, you know, a week, and then they bury them. But the interesting part, like I said, about especially with the Native American death rituals, you know, they did the wakes. They offered tobacco and food. At morning rites, they would actually cut their hair. Which is pretty interesting. They would blacken their face, and they're wailing. And a lot of the cultures that I did end up looking up is wailing is not only a thing that, I mean, I am horrible at funerals. I have been to too many funerals, and yeah, they just not a fan. But I don't even want to go to my own. But but I think that some people are just so overcome with grief that the wailing is just part of the way they are. But in some of these cultures, like I said, especially in Native American, you know, they wail. They would actually just go off and scream and holler. They talked about either burial or cremation, and there's a couple different things about that. So when they do burials, again, depending on what tribe it is, they actually do a couple different things. When somebody does pass, they would wrap them in a cloth, and they would do a couple things. They would either put them in a tree, because their thought is it's giving back to the earth, and it keeps the animals, the wolves and everything, away from that of their loved one. They would do the same thing if there wasn't a tree that had like a hole in it, or you know, somewhere where they could get down in it. They would actually take them to a high branch, and they would attach them to that branch, and that helps them go to the next level. It keeps the animals off of them, and their thought is that it just kind of gives back to that environment, which is pretty interesting. We also talked about the air. Again, they would build scaffolding and put their folks out there, and it was the same thing.
This one here, Dwayne, is it's a pyre that they build. They burn it. This is a Mojave Indian tribe. This picture's from like 1903.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And they still do a lot of the rituals that way. I know that you have a background in investigating funeral homes and whatever, and I do know that it takes like 1,500 degrees just to get the body to start cooking. It takes a lot. You just can't throw somebody in a barbecue and cremate them that way.
And that's why so many killers get caught, because it's like 1,600. Most crematoriums are 16 to 1,800 range. Some will go all the way up to 2,200. Yeah, it's pretty hot.
And it's very interesting. But again, their thought is they want to give back to the land. That's why when they burn the body, or they put it up in a tree, or they put it in a tree, it goes back to the land and the earth, and it stays away from like I said, the wolves and that kind of stuff, and scavengers is the term that they use, scavengers, which makes a lot of sense, right? You know, they have a lot of traditional beliefs with Christianity, like I just spoke about, emphasizing community support, right? So especially in Native communities, they would all kind of rally around the family of the deceased, and kind of still what we do now. Growing up, somebody would pass away, my mom would make food, and you know, that was just the way it was. And if somebody, I knew we were going to eat good because somebody died, and we were going to go to somebody's house and eat a bunch of food. So, which is kind of interesting in and of itself. But they talked about the spiritual journeys, and the reason while they're burning that body and while they're giving the body back, that's their thought of the spirit actually crossing over onto their next part of their journey. And sometimes that they would be buried with, if they were a warrior, they were buried with the tools of that trade. You know, they were cremated with the tools of that trade, so they would have stuff to continue their journey in.
I hate to interrupt you.
Please.
I was just going to say,
No.
It's almost interesting how through time they really follow like the Egyptian culture, you know, because the Egyptians, they took everything with them, you know, including their cats.
Exactly. Well, they talked about also, and the river Styx.
Yeah.
You know, and some cultures, they would actually, and Irish, Colleen, I'm sure that you can speak to this, with the Irish, they would actually put pennies on these guys' eyes. Yeah. So that would help with the talisman when they went to the river Styx. So
Yeah,
that was how they
it's
paid for
still
their
actually
journey.
customary. They actually will super glue the eyes shut now, so they don't
Right.
pop open. But
Wow.
the coins were to, well, to keep the eyelids down, but also
Mhm.
it was that paying the toll. You know,
Exactly.
absolutely.
To pay
And
the
I think it's
ferryman.
interesting if you look at the Native American. There's also burial mounds where they
Right.
have a lot of Native Americans buried in the mounds. They didn't all. It like Florida has a huge burial. There's different burial mounds. New Mexico, Florida,
Mhm.
the Dakotas, all over the country. There's burial mounds where huge amount of tribal members are entombed in the same mound. Yeah.
Exactly. And then that goes back to goes back to them giving back to the earth, and that's sacred land. There were actually battles that had to be fought around the pyres or the actual mounds, because that was sacred land, and you were not allowed to battle on there. And that was an atrocity if you fought around that. They talked about, and their big thing, especially with natives. And the funny thing about it is, I've never really looked into natives until I moved here, and the cultures, like Jesse was saying a little while ago, they pretty much they've stayed in that culture. They've those traditions have moved on and moved on and moved down and stepped down. And it's interesting, just to have them when they do a powwow. They get the dancers out there, and it's just incredible to watch them, because the dances they're doing, maybe with a little tweak here and there, probably have been since their friggin' tribe started. And that was that's just the way it was.
Centuries, centuries
So-
old and handed down.
Yeah.
Can I just tell y'all that just take my body up to Yellowstone, let the wolves and the bears beat on me. But I want everybody, I do want a memorial service, and I want everybody to have a Ouija board so that you can communicate with me.
I don't need one, but okay.
No,
I know. But I think it would be
no, we're not going to do that.
party
No.
tickets, man. I'm haunting you. You have no idea.
Do you
Look,
want demons? That's how we get
Rattling
demons
your
called.
doors.
Maybe me, Birdie, and Mudlover will go to either Susie's house or Gina's house or Messy's house, and you can communicate to them through. You can communicate to
I'll
us
be
through them.
opening and closing cabinet doors. I'm gonna be rattling doorknobs, flushing your toilets when you're all asleep. I'm gonna be
I'm
throwing
Yeah.
marbles.
Oh,
Actually-
who's here? Who's haunting my house? Who's haunting my
Everybody-
house? And it's Colleen. She's just like,
and
where's the
we'll know
whiskey?
it's you, because all the beer will
Actually,
be gone.
I was thinking that I made just as a joke when we take her body up to be fed to the bears and the wolves. I'm hoping I'm going to put like a little speaker right there, and it's going to say, "Ow, that hurt! Don't bite me there."
Anyway,
Yeah.
I know that
Okay.
it's a serious topic, right? But it's a topic we're all going to cross that plane one day. So it's
Exactly.
Exactly. So, Kim,
And-
what do you have on that? Oh, sorry, Max. What?
No,
did you have?
I just wanted to finish up here. After they went through all of the preparations and the actual services, again, they communal grieving, but they would have feasts.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody would get together and they would have a feast, and all designed to honor the deceased, to help with the living transition, and with practices ranging from the burials to secondary burials and so forth. But like I said, I just think it is so interesting that, especially with Native Americans, that they actually have this stuff pushed down. And I'm sure it's like anything else. They're moving away from it because the younger ones don't care. And I get it, and it happens, but I would hope that they would actually stay within that tradition. And I wish Doc was here to speak to some of that too, because he's very in tune with the native aspect of it. So
Well, the Irish wake, that's still a thing. They've been practicing
Right.
it forever, and that's still. And in New Orleans, we've talked about this before, and I've been there and watched this happen during when let's see, how do they do that? From the funeral home, from the home where the viewing is to the cemetery, that's when they do the Dixieland jazz, and they go
It's
all
10
through
second
the
line.
streets. Right, and that's to keep the spirit of the person who's passed from coming back to the home.
That's what I want done with mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want a lot of whiskey and a lot of music and a
Oh, that'd be fine. We could do that
Yeah.
too.
yeah.
Jesse,
Um,
you get Weird Al, and that's it.
Jesse
I'm,
or Kim.
I'm okay with that.
Kim, what do you
I like
have?
Kimco.
Me? What do I have? I have the Tibet sky burials.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
and
remember that
Jesse both were doing that. Okay, whoa.
Is that what you're doing, Jess?
Yeah, we both are. You go ahead.
So both of
Oh.
you guys can contribute, and I do have one photo. Where did Max go?
I guess he's done.
I guess he's out.
he's always
Tapped
He's
out
out.
for the night.
How about you
Yeah.
take
In
it,
and
Jess?
Oh, well, I will. You go ahead and take the history, and I will gently describe how they.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, history. So when they pass away, they wrap the body in a white Tibetan cloth. How do you say that?
Tibetan.
Tibetan cloth, and they put it up in the corner of the house for 3 to 5 days. During this time, the monks or the lamas are asked to read scriptures so that the souls can be released from sin.
Okay, wait. You said the llamas are reading?
Yeah, that's what it said.
the Dalai Lama.
Well, I'm thinking llamas, like
Maybe.
llamas in the
That's what I
barn.
thought.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are they doing?
It's.
I think it's the Dalai Lama.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a little confused here. Okay.
I was too.
See this
Yeah.
llama up there reading some scripture, spitting all
Yeah.
over everybody because they're
Right.
kind of horrible.
Cusco.
Right. Oh my gosh.
The Dalai Lama, right, Ryan?
I love it. I love
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Sorry.
So that's okay. So the family stop all activities so that they can create a peaceful environment and allow a convenient passage for the souls to go into heaven. I don't want to go over anything Jesse's
Okay.
going to go over.
Oh, you're fine.
The families choose a lucky day. Now, how they do this is based on the religion and astrological factors of the person who passed away.
I think they include like their birth time and their death time and when it's correct and right or something like that. I
Do
don't
they
know.
do
It's
like
kinda
numerology or something?
kind of like a
Yeah.
numerology for the dead.
Very
I
cool.
don't know. Yeah, it is really
Yeah.
cool. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I've never heard of that. Okay.
Let's see. The body's carried away to the platform on the day before. Family members remove the clothes and place the body in a seated position with the head resting on the knees.
Wait a minute. They've been dead for 5 days, and then
Yeah.
then they take the clothes off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's a little ripe at that point, but okay.
I think that's part of the point, which Jesse will get into.
Part of the point.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jesse, what happens?
Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
I did find a picture, but it's too graphic. I have one that's too graphic for YouTube, but one that I'll share here. Go ahead, Jesse.
So one thing I want to point out with where this is at, it's obviously in Tibet, which is very cold. So this was kind of like way up by the Alps. Well, not the Alps, but gosh, I don't even know where they are. But anyway, so they can't bury people, because it's so cold and the ground is frozen. And so basically, as like Mudlover said, is the people will bring it in, they'll figure out a day that's best for them. And then what they'll do is they will have the body, like she said, it'll be in a room basically, and they wait for it to start decaying. Yeah. And during this time, they do the prayers and everything. And she said that they're set in a fetal position, or they're setting, like Mudlover has said. And the ritual specialist basically will take over, is what they're called. And they're called Rogapas.
Okay.
And they're professional Buddhist monks, and they are known as body breakers or flesh cutters. This is a very honorable thing to do, because they are now responsible for this person who has passed. And they carry out the main part of the ceremony. And this is begun by conducting, obviously, more prayers and ensuring the soul has left the body. The physical form is treated as an empty vessel. So it's interesting how they do this, because it always comes across time, right? We always tell our loved ones, we're not there anymore. That's just basically a meat suit, right?
Yeah.
And the Rogapas will prepare the body in ways to allow the vultures to feed. And these vultures are very, it's kind of like in a Native American culture, how eagles and different animals are actually like a very spiritual bird. And vultures are very spiritual birds to these monks and Buddhists. And they will, I'm trying to keep this as PG as possible. This is not seen as disrespectful. Once they know that the body has, or the spirit has left the body, it's considered an act of compassion, is what they call it, and generosity. So offering the body to sustain other living beings. It's like Mad Max was talking about with the Native American culture, how they would offer the body into the trees. If we really think about it, they're offering their body to feed. It's like the circle of life, right?
Sure.
How sometimes even the Bibles, they talk about ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? People believe why we should be cremated. And so in their culture, this is basically what they're doing. And so the vultures have seen this because they don't kill, but they only consume what is already dead. And vultures, we know that they do that. And the vultures eat very fast, especially when there's a whole group of them. So these people will go out and they will take the body on the hillside, and they have a special ceremonial knife. And people, I will tell you, if you look this up, please be prepared to see what they do. Don't watch it in front of children. I think it's going to be a little too much, but you can watch it on YouTube.
Now, how do they get away with doing that on YouTube, and we can't even show the picture?
Historical, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. That's an interesting thing. Yes, but
it's a documentary.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. There seems to be rules for thee, but not for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
how dare they?
Because when I specifically asked YouTube about that one photo, it said that they'd probably restrict our show and not allow it to be seen.
Well, YouTube is run by bots, so
yeah, that's true. So these people will go and they will cut into the flesh to release the good air for the birds to know that there is death, basically. And the birds are like, hey, it's basically feeding time. It's like when you're out feeding your dogs. Okay, I don't mean to compare it to that, but
Right.
Well, these vultures also, this is habituated for these birds, so they get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like
And
feeding the
they
bears in Yellowstone before that became illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so when you do watch this, you will see the process. And it's kind of like being a mortician in a way, maybe in a different light, because you have to be special in order to handle and care for bodies, right? I think they don't think much about it. They respect the person who has passed away. This is what they want. And yeah, that's what they believe. And once the birds have completed their role, basically, of eating everything other than the bone fragments, are traditionally ground and mixed with like a barley flour. And then they're offered to smaller birds. So
cool.
once the bones, so once everything is gone, literally the bones and everything are pulverized by these people, and then it's mixed into a flour based. And so
That's really cool that every portion of the body is given back to the earth, to the birds, to the living. Wow, I like that.
It's just gruesome when you watch it. You're like, oh, like, what are you doing? But so it's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Birdie, what was your topic?
My topic was Viking funerals.
Couldn't find any pictures of actual Viking funerals too long ago.
Well, just imagine somebody being put on like a bench. Their body's up here. There's wood all around the bottom of that, and that's on a boat with all their possessions, depending on something like that. Except there'd be like a funeral pyre in the middle of it.
Okay, they'd make a wooden platform in here.
Yeah, and they depending on their status, if it was a chieftain or a leader or a huge leader, they would put jugs of mead, their tools, animals, all sorts of stuff on that boat, and they would push it out into the middle of the lake. And then somebody on shore who had to be a very good shot with a bow and arrow would light the arrow on fire and launch it onto the boat and catch it on fire. And everybody around would watch it burn and then sink into the water.
So would that be the warrior, whoever died, would that be their personal boat, or would they build that boat for the situation?
So these types of funerals were held for like mostly for the elite. Commoners would usually be buried up on a cliff facing the ocean, usually. So
I thought that at one time too, Birdie, I thought that when they were kind of a Viking royalty, I thought that there was two, if it was a man, I thought there was like two women that were actually sacrificed for the cause, to kind of like the Egyptians, basically, and they were killed, or they offered themselves and would be higher into Valhalla.
Why is it always the women that get sacrificed? Exactly why?
They were known as his slaves, basically.
That's right. I remember seeing that.
That could be possible. I mean, I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it just a little more. I just remember hearing about it a lot. Uh, Years and years ago, like everybody wanted a Viking funeral for some reason. I'm just like,
Well,
why?
Colorado, there's a company in Colorado that is doing them.
Yeah.
They're licensed to do them in a lake somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
See, that's
I just
interesting because
Why
okay,
not? Why not?
Native Americans, you're talking about the Viking funerals. There's a crossover there. They're giving back, and how did they come up with that process? Did they just decide to give back to the earth, to the land? And because it seems like a lot of different cultures have done that. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It,
Well, I
it
think
could be too, and also. Oh, sorry, Jesse, go.
no, it's okay. I was just saying, I think it's because of whatever environment they're in. I mean, if you
Yeah.
really think about it, where the Vikings, they came from Norway, it's always cold there, right? And frozen, the ground's frozen.
Hard to dig. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they thought, let's do it this way. And especially with the elite, it's almost like they wanted to make sure that their soul goes up to Valhalla.
and so another different one I found was in South Korea. For some reason, you can only have a family member buried for so long until the family has to go out and remove them because there's not a whole lot of space. So what they do is they cremate the relative and make beads out of them and then make little trinkets and then hang it up in their house. There's quite a few.
Yeah. It's not
Different-
unheard of.
Well,
Yeah.
You gotta remember in South Korea, the guys can only have like 6 friggin' haircuts, and they can, they do waist measurements and stuff like that. But
that's North Korea, not South Korea.
that's North Korea. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my Koreas are messed up. But that's interesting. See, again, it's that circle. Everything circles back, and if you think about it, like what Bird was just saying, if you're going to dig your ancestor up after a while, that might be just like interesting to us and to make those trinkets, but that person's going to protect you.
Yeah. Well, I think
So,
isn't it in Indonesia? They dig
Yeah,
up their
and-
person every year. It's like a festival, and they dig them up, and seriously, they like give them food and give them cigarettes in their mouth, like they were alive.
Yep.
So
There's
it's crazy.
Okay, I get it. It's their customs, but there's an ick factor to some of it. You know what I'm saying? Digging things up. It's like, no, I don't necessarily want to see my dead Uncle Fred dug up. I don't want to see that.
Well,
Yeah.
way back when in China, they used to hang coffins from cliffs. That was one of their things.
Mm-hmm.
Hang coffins from cliffs.
Yeah.
And then Ryan was saying on here that it's the older people in China or something. They would just go up and let themselves freeze to death on the mountain because was that
in Japan?
Or is it Japan?
In
Japan, yes, that was a thing. What it was is that the elderly got too feeble and started becoming a burden,
right?
And the family would take them out on a secluded mountain and just leave them there, and the family member would walk back and just leave them there because the older family member knew that they're a burden.
I couldn't.
They don't want to be a burden.
Nope.
The Eskimos have a same type of thought process. Once, just like Bird said, once the elderly, they think that they're a burden, and they take them and they actually put them in a boat and they push them somewhere. And those, but Colleen, you were talking about, nope, there's a nick factor. If you don't know the difference.
No,
You know, and
Right.
we're looking at it like, oh my God, that's just it. But
it's
you know,
desecration of
we
the dead. That's the way we
exactly.
would do it. Yeah. No, I get
And
it.
if you don't know,
Right.
or that's the way you brought it, kind of going back to the natives. You know, if that's what they practice and that's what they've done, you know, that's just the way it is.
No.
You know, it's the
Yeah.
circle, like Jess was saying a little while ago. It's the circle. You
Yeah.
know, and we're all going to do it. We all have an out date. You know,
Yeah.
Whether or not we want it or not. I just don't want to know the barcode date. You know
Have
what
you
I'm saying?
guys looked into like the different ways they're starting to now take care of, you know, us when we pass away? Like the new thing now is water cremation, basically. And it's like they put you in this, I can't remember, it's like hydrocremation. Instead of fire, they use water. And then once you
Decompose.
you become a soup, basically. And your bones also get like, you know, I think that I'd have to look it up, but I remember watching something on it. And then you have that choice to basically have your soup be sprayed back onto the earth, like in a forest or, you know, somebody's crop. I don't know.
Well, it makes total sense. So, I mean, this is gross, but it's part of the industry. But blood from slaughterhouses is sprayed on crops.
Yeah.
Because it puts calcium back in the ground. And so, and iron. And so there's tankers that come out of slaughterhouses full of blood. And then they go out. And that's what they do, is they spray it.
So what you're saying is not everything is free of.
I just keep picturing
meat.
the world's worst super soaker.
Funny, huh? For all the vegetarians out there.
I was just thinking, so if you're a vegan,
I'm so sorry.
Well, sorry,
But that salad was grown by.
Yeah, I had in a couple of slaughterhouses and rendering plant students back in Texas, and I didn't know that until when I was working in Texas, and I'm like, where are they going with all the blood? So I had to research that and talk to the guys in the industry. It gets sprayed on all of our crops, like on the ground, like, but it's on the crops. So. And I did have a chuckle over that whole thought of, vegetarians.
We don't eat meat.
So but honestly, it's actually been a practice for a lot of thousands of years.
Yeah, Calypso's like, always wash your veggies for this reason. You have no idea what's going on out there, man. Oh, what? Anyway. So I did not look up a burial practice because I'm always fascinated in the paranormal attached to all of this stuff, right? So I looked up a story, which really hasn't been debunked, although there's some naysayers out there. It's bogus. However, it did show up in newspapers. And it's all about, where'd you guys go? I had the wrong window closed. It's all about these moving coffins that happened in, it's called the Chase Vault. And it was in Christchurch Parish in Barbados. And so I do have a picture of the actual.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. Okay, here it is. This is the actual burial tomb for these. Yeah, and these were actually lead coffins. So think of how heavy they are, right?
Is this like a puzzle?
Yeah. Well, what was going on, according to the story, each time that marble vault door would be moved to intern another coffin, they would find the family member, the lead coffins had changed position or had been tipped over, had been opened. And we're talking about a really big door, heavy door that nobody's going to get into without a lot of help. And the coffins themselves were incredibly heavy. I mean, lead, come on. This happened in 1808, twice in 1812, in 1816, and in 1819. All of the lead coffins, every time the door would be opened to inter another family member, the coffins had been all rearranged or tipped over and opened. So, weird. So,
Wow.
people are saying this was just a legend, but according to the first story showed up in a newspaper in 1807. And then there was another story in 1808, 1812. And there's, I don't know. It's like, I know legends can show up in newspapers, but this seemed to be tracked. Like the stuff was happening and they were writing about it.
Right.
Now, was it true? I don't know. I don't know. Now you
Maybe
can
it was
see
a
that
gigantic spider.
could have been some
Gotta
Barbados.
call shenanigans.
Yeah. So I don't.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tunneled in there. Somebody tunneled in there,
You think?
and they moved everything around. And then as they were backing back out, they were refilling the tunnel. So I'm gonna call shenanigans on that one.
Maybe it was
Maybe.
like body snatchers.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm.
But lead coffins are like super heavy, and why would
Lead
you just, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Bad.
why would you just knock them over and then just leave? It doesn't make
Well-
any sense to me.
I don't know. It's really interesting. Well, it's really interesting too that this was in so many newspapers back in the day.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I think it showed up in the first newspaper called the Transatlantic News, something.
Transatlantic?
Yeah, say that fast. Anyway,
Okay.
it showed up there first, and then there was more articles written every time they opened the door, and somebody would see. I would imagine a marble door is not easy to open. Like it would take some force to open something like that, and that they would have some sort of lock on it.
Yeah, marble's pretty heavy. I
That's
think
really
Cal is asking, is seismic activity a thing around there?
I don't know. In Barbados, it's a really good question. I'd have to look. I have all those maps at work. I can look that up. Yeah, I don't know. Barbados. I'm thinking. I know there's. Let me look while we're talking. But
There was a lot of pirates in Barbados.
yeah,
Not Johnny Depp type, but
Well, I know
you
if
know,
it's
there were
anything,
pirates.
if it's anything like Florida, Florida is just like Florida's not like really solid. Florida's constantly moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if there's a good sized storm come in, it could possibly like shift what's underneath and knock stuff around.
Isn't New Orleans the same way?
earthquakes.
Yeah.
New Orleans, the water table is really high as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well-
and I know that there's sepulchers, again, the same thing. They do a lot of stuff not in ground.
Mm-mm.
Well, and when I was down there and I asked one of the undertakers there, they had just finished up with a ceremony there. He said that most of those above ground tombs were not due to water table; they were due to heat, so that you could bury multiple people, and they would actually turn like they became cremation chambers in a way. The heat would dissolve the body. And if you look, like you'll have soldiers buried or entombed in them, like in the early 1700s, and they kept and they just kept every 100 years. You can pretty much put another body in there.
Yeah.
So they'll have different dates with different people in the same burial chamber because they have an ash bin on the bottom, and it's like ash and bone. It's just like little pieces of that person. They can collect it, and I don't know what they do with it then, but then they can put the next person in.
Yeah. And it's pretty much like a family tomb. And so they all.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them are, but some of them aren't. They're just they're just reused. They don't
Well, you
have a
know-
lot of space there too.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I was gonna say, and that's why I want to be cremated. So Mud Lover knows that I'm gonna be cremated, and she's gonna make it into a tea.
there we go.
And at my, huh?
Yeah, I like that
Drink,
idea.
drinking the
You know, and
madness
then
every day.
my celebration of life. You know, everybody gets a drink. What's wrong, Bertie? You don't think that's a good idea?
No. I was just looking up
You know, I was gonna
Barbados.
get salt and pepper shakers for you.
Calypso sent me on a mission to look up Barbados, and it does have.
There's quite a lot of seismic there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite possible that
Yeah.
Sure.
these coffins that are underneath
It's a really good point.
are being shooken around.
Yeah. I still think it's a ghost. I'm sorry, but
That's
No.
a buff. That's
No,
a buff
actually,
ghost to just go
You
down.
said, yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's got to be a hulk of a ghost to go down into this tomb and just be like, you know what?
You know what? It's a pirate, and he's like,
I
"This
know,
is
right?
me treasure. This is me treasure."
Me
And you
treasure.
keep burying
I'm
me people.
I'm telling you, shenanigans. We're looking too deep into this. You know, it could be the way that what they were set on.
Maybe it's like the
Right?
Goonies. Maybe it's like a treasure chest of bodies, and they just put them in there to keep the treasure safe.
Yeah, I don't
There
know.
you go.
I don't.
One-eyed Willie.
I want to be cremated as well. And I'd like, maybe we should, maybe by then marijuana will be illegal in Idaho. They can bake us some brownies and make
Wait.
some pot brownies.
Did you say? Wait, did you say be illegal in Idaho because it's already
Illegal.
Oh, okay.
Illegal. So I know. I'm just saying. That'd be fun.
And yeah, they're wasting it. We've got the best soil and water this side of Hawaii.
Oh, well, it's Idaho. It'll never be legal here. But I think the burial customs are really fascinating. And
Sorry.
okay, wait a minute. Bertie, you haven't said what we're doing with you when you kick it. What's going on? What do you want
Me?
done? Yeah.
I'm being cremated.
And
No,
no shenanigans?
just take me to one of my favorite fishing holes and just spread me around out there.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to map that out for us because I don't know where you go fishing. Henry's Fork, that would be a good place to be spread.
It's a secret.
Yeah. Chesterfield.
Chesterfield?
Chesterfield is one of my old fishing holes.
Okay, we can do that.
Devil's Creek.
Okay.
Reservoir.
Kim? What about you?
I'm not talking about
I'm not talking about
this.
this.
She doesn't want Madam Max to know. He wants to keep him guessing.
That's right. Yeah, I don't
You
know.
know what's funny is
Just pop me up inside a jukebox.
I know, right?
Mud Lover's
Feel
aunt.
I don't want
Mud Lover's aunt has her significant other passed away about 15 years ago, and what she wanted to do is take the ashes and put them in a cartridge and shoot him out.
I love it.
I thought that's kind of cool, you know.
That's cool. Like put you in some fireworks and just.
Heck
Oh,
yeah, man.
that's
I
what
love that idea.
what's his name did.
That guy.
Yeah, that
It
guy.
was that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
I love that idea.
Now
Hunter
I
S.
know-
Thompson. Hunter S. Thompson did that.
Hunter S. Yeah, that's what he did. I do know that there is a couple companies that will actually cremate your body and cook you down so much you actually cook into almost like a diamond.
Oh
And then
yeah.
they give back to the family. Now I'm sure that's a lot of money. A lot of money. You know what?
That's a whole new song of "Shine Bright Like a Diamond."
Oh
I
no,
was gonna start singing that. I was.
that's not right, you guys. Yeah, no, I've seen that. I know.
Sorry.
For a split
There's
second,
also-
I thought about that with my dad's stuff, and I went, "No, I better not."
You can also get cremated and then pounded into a shape and then dropped into the ocean, so you can be
Yeah.
part of a coral reef. Forever.
Yeah. There's also a company that will take your body, and they will put you into a pod,
Mhm.
and that pod will actually grow into a tree.
Mhm.
And you
Oh.
again see, it's that circle. We're
Yep.
going back in that circle. We're giving back. Even if
So
it's cremation, we're still giving back.
you can't legally transport ashes without paperwork. So after
No?
you're not supposed to. Well, but so I took my mom on a road trip that she always wanted to go on, never had the chance. So I took her ashes everywhere with me. But I did tell you guys about the story about my dad in the airplane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I know Birdie's heard it. Max, have you guys heard that one about my dad making?
I don't remember.
So
Yeah.
many moons ago, when I was just a wee high little girl, my dad's
We
wee high little girl, a little grandpa and dad got together because one of their buddies died and they had them cremated. And my dad said that he would go scatter the ashes in our airplane. Like take them up and let them out. Well, not a great idea because when the Taylor craft, one of the airplanes we had, that's the one he was in. The window just pops open a little ways. It's not like you could open a window in an airplane because that'll take you down. So it's not like it's pressurized, but you can't have all that wind coming in. So you can only open the window about this far. Yeah. So he did that, and then he opened the urn. Well, the wind brought all of the ashes back into the airplane, and he was completely gray, like covered in ashes. And he said he had to land at a different airport and vacuum the airplane and clean up before he landed and take the air back to the widow. So the old guy ended up in probably the LA County dump in the vacuum cleaner bag.
Oh.
I think that's the most amazing story ever.
I know. Oh my
Well,
God.
okay, so that kind of stuff right there, excuse me, is again, that's part of that ritual. And at that point, did they ever tell anybody? No, because you put that family to rest. This is their
Yes.
last thing.
Yes.
Now, yeah,
The big
exactly. But that's and I think a lot of these rituals that we've spoke about, are about putting the family, the tribe, your group, whoever at ease.
Right.
Right. We're helping this person go to whatever your belief process is excuse me, getting choked up. But whatever your belief process is, that's that part of that closure. Did they ever tell anybody that he got that? Hell no, they didn't. You know what? It's like
he drank some whiskey over that.
I went to high school with a guy, and I went to high school with a lot of guys, and this guy was late to every friggin' class. And one of our teachers said, "Hey, look, so and so, you're going to be late to your own funeral." Now we're seniors in high school. Oh, that's stupid, right? Yeah. This guy is in the military, in the Army. They were on days off. They had went out and went shooting that afternoon, and there was a shotgun that they did not pull out of the vehicle. So this guy, I know, ended up getting in the back seat. This shotgun came down, discharged, and killed him.
Ooh.
They sent him back home. And I mean, hand to God, they sent him back home. Going from the funeral parlor to the cemetery, the friggin' hearse broke down.
Yep.
Oh boy.
The friggin' hearse broke
Wow.
down.
But they have to tow him
And
to
I
the.
was like, well, there you go.
There he is.
This poor guy.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny.
Oh,
And it was just like,
in a true YouTube tradition here, Cal has got a channel if you want to go check hers out. She does a lot of creepy stuff like cryptids and whatnot.
Cool.
She's she's part of my Discord community.
Is the name of the YouTube channel? Is it called Calypso?
The cryptid, yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Cal. I'll be on that channel tomorrow. You betcha. That's awesome.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
So funeral, these and actually, Cal, let me know, because I'm happy to put your YouTube channel and share it on our channel if you don't mind. Let us know in the oh yeah, okay, but okay, you haven't got started yet, so shoot us a message on this channel and we'll start sharing your stuff for sure.
Or yeah, we can start working with her too. I've been talking back and forth with her about working with cryptid stuff. So
is she working with Kenny?
No, I don't believe so.
Because we collaborate with Midnight Lycanthropy all the time. He's a good buddy of ours, and so we share stuff back and forth on our channels. It helps everybody out. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, get a hold of us. We'll make sure to do that. But I just think, and Max, you had a really good point, that I think most of our earlier rituals were to give back to the cycle of life. The Egyptians were interesting because of the way they took all their possessions with them and held that close. So it was more the possessions and the status and the power was very important to them.
Yeah, but you got to remember too, the reason they took that stuff with them
to go to the next
is so once they crossed in their journey, they would have their riches, they would have their cat, they would have their whatever with them once their journey was complete. And it would be, it's one of those things where, yeah, you're right, they're holding on to it, but they're kind of going into it with money in their pockets so they can start new.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe what you're saying is nowadays people be sorry, God. Hello.
Go ahead. Yes.
No, I was just saying, like, maybe nowadays people will be buried with their cell phones or their Game Boys or their Xboxes and their PlayStations.
They do.
What?
I know.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Well, they have people that are buried in their cars.
Yeah.
Where they will actually have somebody that'll pass away and they'll bury the whole car because that was this person's pride and joy.
Well, come on now. That's a little.
And I've seen some rappers that are buried with, certain things with them. So I think that, again, we stay in that same mode. And I just think it's interesting.
My great grandpa was buried with his horse.
Did they kill the horse to be with him?
Yes.
See, I don't get it, man. I don't want to hurt something else.
It was my second grandpa. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
But again, if that's the way it was back in, we're looking at it from this aspect, that we're in. Mm-hmm. But if that's the way it was back then, that's like, well, Bob died, and we put down his friggin' horse too. Oh, well, it's expected. And I just think that stuff is interesting, how we've evolved into, like Bert said, yourself and being buried with your phone or your Game Boy, or you're going to whatever valley that Mud Lover goes to. But again, it's one of those things where that's what we've evolved into. But back in the day, these Egyptians, that's what they did. They took their stuff with them. They didn't want to be poor going to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I get buried, I'm going to be buried with the toilet because I had Taco Bell before I died.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Well, me and Mud Lover, when we're done here, we're going to go to Taco Bell because they have a new chicken. They have a new chicken burrito out that is really, really good.
Really? I just I had Taco Bell yesterday for the first time in probably 2 years, and it just did not live up to any expectation.
It doesn't hit the same as it used to like 20 years
ago.
It
doesn't. Does it? No.
It just was like
That's funny.
It's just lifeless now. Yeah. It's just like, this is food, I guess, but 20 years ago it's just like, oh, this is delicious as hell.
Get a Gilbert toilet with pretty designs.
We're gonna bedazzle that shit.
And we got a glue gun. I got beads. Let's do it.
Whole new meaning to show me the
What's
bead.
funny is I remember that friggin' 99-cent bean and cheese burrito.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God, it was grub.
Do you remember the
It was
enchiladas?
grub.
The enchiladas.
Oh, those are, yes.
were the best, man. That
Yeah.
was oh God, the
They still
enchiladas.
make them.
Do they?
Yeah.
You just have to ask for it specific.
Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
You
That
could
is
go
good.
to the
Yeah.
drive-in.
It's
You
the
could put what?
it's still on,
$5
it's
a
still on the
gas.
menu, but you have to specifically ask for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
You could put $5 a gas, go to the drive-in, go to Taco Bell, and you were gold. Life was good on $20,
I know. It was
and eat like a king.
you did. You ate
Especially after a night.
the bean and cheese burritos were the best. I always got extra onions in them. I wanted extra
Oh, heck
onions.
yeah.
Oh God dang
Yeah.
it, they were good. I'd go. So when I lived in Texas, I was over 2 hours away to the nearest Taco Bell. So whenever I'd get up into Amarillo, I'd go to a Taco Bell, and we would literally ask them for 20 bean and cheese burritos with extra onions, and they'd be like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, because it's 2 hours. We only come up here every once in a while. We freeze them." They're like, "You must really like these burritos." We're like, "Yeah, because you can't get anything like that in our town." Yeah.
Were you there in the morning? Did you get there in the morning?
Haunted
Yeah,
porcelain.
well,
I love it.
whenever we were leaving.
Were you in Amarillo by
Oh my
morning?
God.
Oh yes, she
Anyway.
was.
Okay. On that note,
Because Houston was one day closer.
the paranormal potty. Oh my God, you guys!
Oh.
That's a new show. That is a new show, Paranormal Potty.
Maybe that's what we should do is bathroom customs next time, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Bathroom customs?
Let's do it.
Gotta be some weird ones.
Oh my.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Happy Krampus, by the way, everybody.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
That's such a great movie. Oh
It
my
is.
gosh, that's such a great movie, isn't it?
Frightening. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay, favorite Christmas movie.
Huh?
Yes,
Favorite Christmas movie.
movies.
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
I watch it every year. I have to.
Besides A Christmas Story.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas Story.
Christmas
24
Story.
hours of A Christmas Story.
I know.
Who
Thanks,
doesn't
Cal.
love that?
Yeah. How about yours, Jesse, Kim? Favorite
I
Christmas
don't
movie?
know. Scrooged?
Scrooged?
Bill Murray?
Yeah. Okay.
Is the Nightmare Before Christmas one?
Yeah, I forgot Gremlins and
Oh,
Die Hard.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dirty
Hold on,
Fruity.
Kim, before we sign off, I found you something at a thrift store. Speaking of that, isn't that your favorite movie? Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah, Kim?
Yes.
So I was at a thrift store and they had 2 Nightmare Before Christmas plates, and I got them
Oh
for you.
my goodness.
That's big
Wow.
cool, and they have
Dang.
gold on them and everything.
Those
Ooh,
are
it's
way
got
That is
the
so cool.
gold.
So I've been hanging on to them for you. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There was only 2. I'd get you the whole set. There was only 2. Anyway. All right, guys. We are going to run, and we'll catch you next week. Make sure to tune in on Wednesdays and Thursdays. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks.
Peace.